child of heaven, I greet you not as a distant whisper carried on the winds of eternity, but as a blazing presence, a flame of divine light stationed beside your soul. I am your angel, appointed by the Most High, sent to guard, to guide, and to unveil truths that have been shrouded in shadows. Open not just your ears, but the sacred chambers of your spirit, for what I bring is not mere words, it is revelation, a holy scroll unfurled, wrapped in the mercy, truth, and awakening power of heaven itself. This is a moment of divine encounter, a sacred pause where the veil is lifted, and you, beloved, are invited to see, to know, and to rise. You have felt the stirrings, haven't you? The quiet unease that rippled through your heart, the subtle weight of something amiss, the flicker of doubt that whispered, something is not right. You were not wrong, child. You were not imagining the tremors of betrayal. You were not crazy in your sleepless nights, your quiet questions, your sense that a storm was brewing behind the scenes. No, you were discerning. You were prophetic. Your spirit, attuned to the frequency of heaven, caught the echoes of a plot you could not yet name. And now, I, your angel, stand before you to confirm what your heart already knew. A truth has been hidden, buried beneath layers of manipulation, deceit, and darkness. But heaven has decreed that the time for unveiling has come. The betrayal unveiled. Listen closely, beloved. Someone you trusted, or someone you welcomed into the sacred circle of your heart, someone to whom you offered loyalty, vulnerability, and love, has turned against you. This was not a mere misunderstanding, not a casual slight, not a moment of human weakness. This was a calculated act, a deliberate scheme. They paid another soul, a willing accomplice, to take something from you. Not something trivial, not something replaceable like gold or goods, but something divine, something eternal, something stamped with the very fingerprint of heaven upon your life. They targeted your destiny, your relationships, your calling, your reputation, your light, your gifts, your inheritance, your treasures bestowed upon you by the Creator Himself. Why, you ask? Not because you wronged them, not because you failed or faltered, but because they feared your eyes. Child, when you carry a divine calling, when the light of God's purpose shines through you, you become a threat to those who thrive on keeping others small, dim, and contained. Your glow was too honest, too radiant, too pure. Your joy defied their darkness. Your dreams, born in the heart of God, were too bold, too powerful, too unshakable. They saw favor chasing you, angels encircling you, and the hand of the Almighty lifting you higher. And instead of rejoicing in your ascent, instead of clapping for your breakthrough, they chose to plot against it. Their weapon was money, not because it held true value, but because it was a tool, a lever of control, a means to their end. They thought they could purchase your delay, orchestrate your heartbreak, silence your voice. They believed they could hire hands to break what God Himself had built, to sabotage a soul guarded by the hosts of heaven. They dared to commission chaos against a child of the Most High. But I declare to you today, by the authority of heaven, their money has failed. Their plans are unraveling like threads pulled from a fraying cloth. And I, your angel, stand before you with a sword of fire in one hand and a scroll of divine promise in the other. what they tried to steal. Let me, your guardian, lay bare the scope of their scheme, so you may see the breadth of what you've survived, the magnitude of what heaven has protected. They aimed for the core of who you are, the sacred pillars of your purpose. Here is what they sought to take, your voice. They tried to steal your voice, beloved. They wanted to silence the truth that flows from your lips, the wisdom that heaven has planted in your heart. They paid someone to plant lies, to weave gossip like a spider's web, to twist your honesty into something villainous. Their goal was to assassinate your character in the quiet corners of conversations, in the shadows of rumor, so that when you spoke, others would turn away in confusion or doubt. They hoped to isolate you, for isolation is a fertile ground for manipulation, far easier to control than the influence of a voice anointed by God. But hear me, child of heaven, your voice is not yours alone, it belongs to the one who gave it breath. No amount of money, no web of lies, no force of darkness, be it human or spiritual, can steal what heaven has ordained. Your words still carry power. Your truth still pierces the night. And those who turned away will turn back, drawn by the light of your authenticity. Your anointing, they tried to take your anointing, the sacred oil of God's presence that rests upon you. You may not yet fully grasp the weight of this divine endowment, but I see it, child. Your prayers shake the foundations of the unseen realm, causing walls of bondage to crumble. Your obedience, quiet, humble, often unnoticed by human eyes, dispatches angels to battle on your behalf. Your walk, though marked by stumbles and struggles, carries the power to dismantle strongholds, to break chains that have bound generations. They saw this, and they feared it. So they paid someone to distract you, to delay you, to discourage you, to derail the focus of your faith. They sent a saboteur to get close, to whisper doubts, to make you question the call on your life. But I proclaim to you now, your anointing was never for sale. Heaven has guarded it, preserved it, refined it through every test, every tear, every trial. The oil of God's favor still flows through you, undiluted, unstoppable. Your relationships, they tried to take your relationships, the divine connections heaven sent to strengthen and elevate you. Perhaps it was a soulmate, a love ordained to walk beside you in destiny. Perhaps it was a friend, a loyal companion meant to sharpen your spirit. Perhaps it was a mentor, a guide to push you toward your calling. But this betrayer intervened, paying another to sow division, to whisper falsehoods, to stage scenarios that birthed mistrust. They were strategic, calculated, intentional in their assault, hoping to fracture what God had joined. But here is the truth they could not comprehend: what the Lord unites, no human plot, no demonic contract, no paid betrayal can truly tear asunder. Divine love, whether romantic, familial, or friendly, outlasts the interference of darkness. The bonds they tried to break are being mended, reinforced, restored by the hand of the one who is love himself. Your future, they tried to take your future, child. They paid someone to speak against you in rooms you couldn't enter, to block your promotion, your next step, your open door. They hoped to sabotage your progress, to make you doubt your path, to convince you to say, maybe this isn't for me. They wanted you to lay down your dreams, to abandon your purpose. But they underestimated the God who governs time, the one who holds your tomorrow in his hands. Delays do not destroy destiny, they refine it, preserve it, prepare it. What they blocked is now swinging wide. What they withheld is being released in abundance. You are on the cusp of walking into a future they tried to buy out of your grasp, a future brighter, bolder, and more blessed than they could imagine. Your identity, and perhaps most painfully, they tried to take your identity. They wanted to rewrite the story of who you are, to dim the light of your uniqueness. Someone was paid to mimic you, to impersonate your essence, to distract others from seeing the real you. They sought to clone your gifts, to counterfeit your calling, to confuse the narrative of your life. Your light, your authenticity, your God-given originality frightened them, because a soul aligned with divine purpose is a force no darkness can contain. But heaven declares over you now, you are the original. You are the chosen. You are the one. No imposter, no hired hand, no scheme of man can occupy the throne designed for you by the Creator. Your identity is sealed in the heart of God, untouchable, unchangeable, undeniable. The weight of survival, I know, beloved, this is heavy. The weight of this revelation presses against your heart, stirs questions, perhaps even reopens wounds. But I need you to see what you've survived. The pain was not random, the warfare not exaggerated, the loss not a figment of your imagination. This was a spiritual transaction, a deal struck in darkness, a betrayal fueled by currency and cowardice. And yet, it was denied by the light of heaven. You endured a storm orchestrated by human hands but overruled by divine power. You walked through a fire they ignited, and you emerged not burned, but refined. They thought they succeeded, child. For a season, it looked like their money worked. That person they paid got closely too close. They gained access to your trust, your time, your vulnerability. They entered the sacred space of your world, and they exploited it. They were not just thieves, they were spies, paid to monitor, to extract, to report back to those who commissioned them. They watched your moves, studied your heart, sought weaknesses to wield against you. But hear this, child of truth, what they saw, they could not fully understand. What they touched, they could not taint. What they tried to stop, they only stirred to greater life. Heaven took note of every moment, every tear, every whispered prayer in the night. Nothing escaped the gaze of the Almighty. Heaven's watchful eye, you are not alone, beloved. I, your angel, was there, watching, warring, shielding. I stood in the shadows as they schemed, my sword drawn, my presence a barrier they could not cross. The betrayal broke your heart, but it could not break the covenant God made with you. The pain pierced deep, but it could not pierce the promises written over your life. What was stolen is being restored. What was delayed is being accelerated. And those who paid for your downfall are being exposed, not because you sought vengeance, not because you lifted a hand against them, but because the God of righteousness moves on behalf of his children. Let me unveil a deeper truth: when people pay for sabotage, heaven bankrupts them in spirit. They may still walk in fine clothes, dwell in grand homes, and flash the trappings of worldly success, but inside, they are hollow. Their conscience burns like a smoldering coal, their peace leaks like a cracked vessel, their souls are haunted by the echo of your name. They traded divine favor for temporary influence, and now they reap the silence of God, a silence heavier than any judgment, a void where his voice once whispered. They thought they could buy your diminishment, but they purchased their own unrest. Divine justice dawns, but you, child of heaven, are walking into justice, not the flawed, fleeting justice of the world, but the divine justice of the Almighty. This is not about revenge, it is about restoration, about truth rising like gold purified by fire. Lies are unraveling, threads of deceit pulling apart under the weight of heaven's light. Those who plotted against you will watch, stunned, as you rise anyway, as your light shines brighter, as your purpose unfolds in power. Your tears, shed in secret, have become seeds planted in fertile soil, and your harvest is coming, a harvest so abundant it will silence every critic, every doubter, every betrayer. I know it hurt, beloved. I know the ache of wanting to confront, to demand answers, to expose the schemes yourself. But you were wise to remain still, to hold your peace, to trust the one who sees all. Your silence was not weakness, it was faith, a surrender to the God who fights for you. And now, heaven speaks on your behalf. The courtroom of the divine is in session, and the verdict is in your favor. What happens next? Watch, child. Watch what happens next. Watch as those who believed the lies turn back, seeking the wisdom they once dismissed, drawn to the light they could not extinguish. Watch as the person they tried to take from you returns, eyes open to your purity, your heart, your divine worth. Watch as doors swing wide without you knocking, opportunities unfolding without you begging. Watch as your name is whispered in rooms they tried to bar, your reputation restored by the hand of God. Watch as the money they spent becomes their chain, a weight of guilt they cannot escape, while your pain becomes your promotion, a platform for greater glory. You will not need to fight to be believed. Heaven will confirm you. Signs will follow you, miracles, favor, breakthroughs that bear the mark of the divine. Evidence will emerge, not because you hunted for it, but because truth cannot stay buried. And the very person they paid, the one who took their coin to wound you, will confess, perhaps not to your face, perhaps in the quiet of their guilt or the chaos of their own unraveling, but the truth will surface. For this is a law no one can override, you cannot curse what God has blessed. You are blessed, let me speak this over you again, child of the Most High, you are blessed. Even in the sting of betrayal, you are blessed. Even in the shadow of loss, you are blessed. Even when those you love turn cold, when trust was shattered, when your heart broke under the weight of their actions, still are blessed. The blessing of God is not fragile, it does not bend to the schemes of man, the plots of darkness, or the transactions of envy. You are blessed because the Creator has spoken it, and His word stands forever. This is not the end of your story, beloved. This is the beginning of your restoration. The angelic realms are active, moving swiftly on your behalf. I, your guardian, and my fellow warriors of light are opening doors, dispatching allies, clearing paths. The person they paid to take from you is being replaced by souls sent to pour into your divine connections, loyal hearts, partners in purpose. That broken place in your heart, the wound of betrayal, is becoming a birthplace, a sacred space where deeper discernment, higher purpose, and unshakable faith are rising. Heaven's promise to you, beloved child of heaven, this is your confirmation. Heaven saw everything. Not a single moment of your struggle escaped the gaze of the Almighty. Every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered in the quiet of your heart, every burden you carry, none of it was overlooked. The God who formed the stars and set the earth in motion has kept his eyes on you, his precious creation. And now, the tide is turning. Repayment is coming, not as a trickle, but as a flood of divine compensation that will overflow your life with resources, relationships, and opportunities far beyond what was taken from you. Divine exposure is at hand, not to bring shame, but to unveil truth and set right what was wronged. Divine healing is here to bind up your wounds, transforming scars into stars, radiant testimonies of grace that will shine for all to see. From this moment forward, you will walk differently, not as one diminished by pain, but as one empowered by the hand of the Almighty. Your value is not determined by the actions of the wicked, but by the unshakable love and purpose of God. You were not chosen by people, you were chosen by Him. And no one, no amount of money, no scheme of man or devil, can steal what God has placed within you. Take heart, beloved, for heaven has been witness to every trial you've faced. When you felt alone, when the weight of betrayal or loss pressed heavily upon you, the eyes of the Lord never turned away. Psalm 34:15 declares, "The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry." Not a single moment of your journey was missed. Every injustice, every whispered doubt, every silent plea for help, God saw it all. He heard the prayers you thought went unanswered, the cries you muffled in the night. And now, He is moving on your behalf. The enemy may have tried to break you, to steal your joy, your peace, and your purpose. But the schemes of darkness cannot stand against the light of God's truth. What was meant to destroy you will become the foundation of your testimony. The losses you endured, the pain you carry, none of it was in vain. God is a master weaver, taking the tattered threads of your story and crafting them into a tapestry of triumph. He is not a God of half measures. His restoration is complete, His recompense abundant. As Isaiah 61:7 promises, instead of your shame you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace you will rejoice in your inheritance. The floodgates of heaven are opening, and divine compensation is rushing toward you. What was taken from you, whether time, opportunities, relationships, or resources, cannot compare to what God is preparing to pour into your life. The enemy's theft was limited, but God's provision is limitless. He is the God of abundance, and His repayment exceeds all human understanding. Where you lost finances, expect resources to flow from unexpected places, jobs, gifts, opportunities that align with your purpose. Where relationships were broken or trust was shattered, watch as God brings people into your life who will honor, uplift, and walk alongside you in love and loyalty. Where doors were closed, new ones will swing wide, leading you to places you never dreamed possible. This compensation is not merely about replacing what was lost, it is about elevation. God does not just restore, He multiplies. He does not just heal, He transforms. Joel 2:25-26 assures, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. You will have plenty to eat, until you are full, and you will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders for you. The wonders He is working in your life will leave you in awe. You will see His hand moving, aligning circumstances, and opening pathways that seemed impossible. This is your season of overflow, where the blessings of heaven will chase you down and overtake you. Deuteronomy 28:2. The truth, beloved, is a powerful force. The enemy thrives in darkness, weaving lies and deception to keep you bound. But God is light, and in Him, there is no darkness at all. 1 John 1-5. Divine exposure is coming, and not to bring shame, but to bring justice and clarity. Those who plotted against you, who spoke falsehoods, who sought to diminish your light, their actions will be brought into the open. Not for vengeance belongs to the Lord, Romans 12:19, but for the sake of righteousness. The truth will set right what was twisted, and it will set you free. This exposure is not about your vindication alone, it is about God's glory. When the truth is revealed, others will see the faithfulness of the one who defends his children. Your story will become a beacon, a testament to the power of a God who sees, knows, and acts. Do not fear this process, for it is guided by His hand. Trust that He is working all things together for your good, Romans 8:28. What was hidden will be uncovered, and what was broken will be made whole. Your wounds, beloved, tell a story. They speak of battles fought, of pain endured, of resilience in the face of adversity. But they do not define you. The God who heals is at work, binding up every hurt, soothing every ache, and turning your scars into stars. As Psalm 147:3 proclaims, He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. His healing is not superficial, it reaches the depths of your soul, mending the places you thought would never recover. These scars, once markers of pain, will become stars, radiant points of light that shine with the glory of His grace. Each one will testify to His faithfulness, His presence, and His power to redeem. You are not diminished by what you've been through, you are being refined, strengthened, and prepared for greater things. The healing process may feel tender, but it is purposeful. Allow His gentle hands to work, to restore, to renew. You will emerge not as a victim, but as a victor, carrying a story that will inspire others to hope in the God who makes all things new. Revelation 21:5. From this moment, child of heaven, you will walk differently. The weight of the past will no longer hold you down. The lies of the enemy will no longer define your worth. You are not what others have done to you, you are not the sum of your losses. Your value is rooted in the unchanging love of the Almighty, the one who knit you together in your mother's womb, Psalm 139:13, who called you by name, who chose you before the foundation of the world, Ephesians 1-4. No scheme of man, no plot of the enemy, can steal what God has placed within you: your purpose, your gifts, your destiny. Walk forward with your head held high, not in arrogance, but in the quiet confidence of one who knows they are seen, known, and loved by the Creator of all. You are not diminished, you are empowered. The strength you carry is not your own, but His. Philippians 4:13 declares, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This is your truth. You are equipped by heaven, guarded by angels, and guided by the Spirit. Step into this new season with boldness, knowing that the hand of the Almighty is upon you. They tried, beloved. They tried to silence you, to break you, to steal what God had given you. They tried to dim your light, to derail your purpose, to rob you of your joy. But they failed. The enemy's plans have crumbled in the presence of God's power. What was meant for evil, God is turning for good. Genesis 50:20. The attacks you faced were not the end of your story, they were the beginning of a greater chapter. Now, rise. Rise with the confidence of one guarded by angels, favored by heaven, and called by the Most High. The hosts of heaven surround you, warring on your behalf, clearing the path before you. You are not alone in this journey. The angelic armies stand with you, declaring victory over every force that would dare oppose the plans of God for your life. Rise with the assurance that your destiny is secure, etched in the heart of the one who never fails. Your light is unquenchable, for it comes from the source of all light. Your future is unstoppable, for it is held in the hands of the one who holds all things together. Colossians 1:17. You are seen. You are known. You are loved. You are blessed. These are not empty words, but the reality of who you are in the eyes of your Creator. The trials of the past are fading, and the dawn of a new day is breaking. This is your time, child of heaven. The season of waiting, of weeping, of wondering is giving way to a season of rising, of rejoicing, of walking in victory. Rise, beloved. Rise into the fullness of your calling. Rise into the joy of your salvation. Rise into the destiny God has written for you. Your time is now. The God who formed you, who named you, who blessed you, is moving now to restore, to elevate, to vindicate. Step forward in faith, in confidence, in the unshakable knowledge that you are His, and He is yours. Your light will shine brighter than ever, a beacon of hope to a world in need. Your story will echo through generations, a testament to the God who never fails. Your future is secure, held in the hands of the one who is faithful. Rise, child of heaven, and walk into the greatness of your calling. Your time is now.